You create 20 plus millionaires. Yes, already. So my dreams are having a BMW, wanted to have a house, wanted to have a house in Dubai, wanted to have a house in my village, wanted to have a house in a city where I live. You are from a farming family. And then you grew up and you joined Infosys. Yeah, I was at Infosys for 5 years. What I want in my life is totally huge. I want to earn so much money to give a best life to my parents, to give a best life to my kids. So these things I cannot achieve through Infosys. Taking a decision is in your hands. You should never take a help of someone to take your own decisions. When I felt like I'm not going for a job for tomorrow, that's it. I never went. I never put my formal resignation. So I don't want that experience like that as a backup option in my life. Because entrepreneurship is always a delayed gratification. It needs lot of patience. Which is that one principle which has been a success factor in your leadership. What could you tell a village kid who comes and tells you that he wants to achieve something very big in his life and that he wants to become a leader? If I can make it, you can be.
From a farmer's son in a small village to a global mentor who's helped build over 20 millionaires across the world, this is the story of Rajesh Khanna. He's the quiet force behind thousands of success stories, a man who left his prestigious tech role at Infosys not for comfort but for contribution. His journey is a proof that leadership isn't about titles, it's about service, vision, and selfless action. If you have ever felt like your background limits your future, this podcast will break that belief forever. From a farmer's son in a small village to a global mentor who's helped build over 20 millionaires across the world, this is the story of Rajesh Khanna. He's the quiet force behind thousands of success stories, a man who left his prestigious tech role at Infosys not for comfort but for contribution. His journey is a proof that leadership isn't about titles, it's about service, vision, and selfless action. If you have ever felt like your background limits your future, this podcast will break that belief forever.
You create 20 plus millionaires. Yes, already. So my dreams are having a BMW, wanted to have a house, wanted to have a house in Dubai, wanted to have a house in my village, wanted to have a house in a city where I live. You are from a farming family. And then you grew up and you joined Infosys. Yeah, I was at Infosys for 5 years. What I want in my life is totally huge. I want to earn so much money to give a best life to my parents, to give a best life to my kids. So these things I cannot achieve through Infosys. Taking a decision is in your hands. You should never take a help of someone to take your own decisions. When I felt like I'm not going for a job for tomorrow, that's it. I never went. I never put my formal resignation. So I don't want that experience like that as a backup option in my life. Because entrepreneurship is always a delayed gratification. It needs lot of patience. Which is that one principle which has been a success factor in your leadership. What could you tell a village kid who comes and tells you that he wants to achieve something very big in his life and that he wants to become a leader? If I can make it, you can be. The quiet force behind thousands of success stories. Welcome to the podcast, Rajesh Khanna.
Yeah, thank you. Nice.
You got a very famous name.
Yeah, I feel so after like fifth standard, I feel so it's a very famous name.
Well, everyone knows you now because you created an identity for yourself.
Correct.
But you are from a farming family.
Correct.
Your father is a farmer.
Mother also farmer.
Mother also is a farmer.
Yeah, farmer for 40 years now.
For 40 years, that's
Yeah.
amazing. And you were working in Infosys.
Correct.
You quit both of the life. Why would you do that?
See, farming is not my cup of tea. It's parents' thing. They always say that this life is so hard, so get into studies, go. Because I was telling you, right, like I was a pampered son for them.
Mm-hmm.
I was born to them for after 10 years of their marriage.
Okay.
So I was very much pampered. So right the time I was born, they always say, okay, don't come out to the farm field. It's not for you.
Why so?
Because they always feel like it's so much struggle that they went through for all these days.
Mm-hmm.
So that time it's like 30 years back. They feel like studies, good grades, pick up a job where your life will be smooth. That was the thing. So I was also not into farming that time. So interesting part is they say that and they put me into a boarding school.
Oh, you went to boarding also?
Yeah, I went to boarding school. Okay, where from second standard onwards I was into boarding school.
And how good was the life out there?
Yeah, to be frank, I was very lucky. I don't know why they took the decision to put me into a boarding school, but I feel I was blessed because that's the space where I started becoming independent in life.
At a early
At a
stage.
very early age, because I can see, and I always compare people, compare kids, compare my friends, their thought process, my thought process, and all. I always feel I was blessed to put into a boarding school where I start becoming independent, where many of my thoughts has been flourished in that age, in that age of under 10, above 8, from that time onwards.
Right.
So I feel it's a blessed for me.
How did it impact you as a leader today?
See, in a boarding school, everyone wanted to be on their own. So when you are on your own, it's always compare that am I better than the other one? Am I better than the other one? When I compare with my friends and all, okay, with the common sense, I always feel like some ways I'm better. Some ways I can impact people by saying my way of telling to them in sports, in studies. So that's where naturally the leadership has come in.
But I think comparison happens otherwise also in a normal school.
No, I don't
Constantly we are comparing with other.
comparing, but for comparing for a positivity, comparing for a leadership qualities. I feel like that's where it naturally came in. So I feel I was very blessed to be in a boarding school.
And then you grew up and you joined Infosys, right?
Correct.
And you worked there for a couple of years.
Yeah, Infosys was my 2010.
Okay.
2010 to 2014, I was at Infosys for 5 years, 4.8 years precisely. But before Infosys, I was also an assistant professor in a college.
That's something amazing now
Yeah.
because that's when you had a passion towards teaching.
Yes, not passion towards teaching, to be precise. See, that time in 2008, when I passed out of my engineering college, it was a huge recession. Okay, recession, everyone knows, the world knows that was the recession. Till date, for the last 30 years, that was the huge recession. That time, I want to pick up something to support my parents because they gave me the education to support them back. So that time, because of recession, I could not able to pick up a job. So I have to choose something to feed myself first instead of supporting them, to support myself. So I pick up a job as an assistant professor, and I went to a college in Karimnagar, which is 180 kilometers above from Hyderabad. So I went there, worked as an assistant professor for 6 months, and I came back to Hyderabad again when there was some boom of ITs coming back. So I pick up a course. I was also doing an assistant professor job in Hyderabad also. From morning 6 o'clock to evening 6 o'clock is an assistant professor. From 7 o'clock in the evening to 9 o'clock as a learning a course to step into IT. So that's how I started working so hard to feed myself so that it will support my parents. They don't need to send any money to me even after my studies.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Your current life is completely different from the life that you were living earlier.
Correct.
You're an entrepreneur now,
Yes.
living the life of your dreams, I would say.
Yes.
When was that moment of realization where you thought that something else is in store for you?
See, from the kid onwards, like I have said, like from schooling onwards, when I start becoming independent, my thought process also so independent. Okay, what I want in my life is totally different. Okay, so when I stepped into Infosys, okay, I'm not against to the jobs or I'm not against to anyone else, but my process of understanding which I wanted to say. Okay, when I stepped into Infosys, I see my project manager. Okay, they come in a Maruti 800 car. When I see my senior project manager, they come in a Swift Desire car. Okay, when I see my above senior project manager, okay, they come in like 15 lakhs car. Okay, I always feel like, okay, if I go to that stage of 25-30 years of experience, I would only upgrade from A to C, C to D, D to some H. I cannot achieve what I want in my life. What I want in my life is totally huge. I want to earn so much money to give a best life to my parents, to give a best life to my kids, okay, to give a best support system of having money for their education. That's what man. And with job, I don't think so I will able to achieve it. Okay, I cannot drive a BMW while working at Infosys. That's for sure. Okay, so my dreams are having a BMW, wanted to have a house, wanted to have a house in Dubai, wanted to have a house in my village, wanted to have a house in a city where I live. So these things I cannot achieve through Infosys. That's what that that is the time where I wanted to take up something where I can able to achieve my dreams.
But how is it emotionally leaving Infosys? You know, a dream company you always wanted to work for.
To
Was
be
it a
frank,
tough decision?
To be frank, it was a tough decision, but the more toughest part is telling to my parents. Okay, telling to my parents, because I always feel like taking a decision is in your hands.
Correct.
Okay, no, you should never take a help of someone to take your own decisions. That is what my belief is. To make your decision right, you can take anyone's help. But taking a decision which is very personal to you. Okay, that is what I always feel. So I took a decision of becoming an entrepreneur. Okay, I worked so hard. There was up and downs. There were always up and downs, because entrepreneurship is always a delayed gratification. It's not an immediate result which you will able to achieve, like a job. By the end of 30 days, you will get something. So that your hard work is given some results at them.
Right.
So during that time, it was very tough for me to tell to my parents, because my parents' dream was me to work in a job always. So I never told. After I quit my Infosys in 2014, I told them after 9 months in 2015 January. I told that on a lighter note, I was not going to office. By the time, in the same year, by the time I bought a car, I have cleared all the debts what my father has taken for my education and my brother's education. So that results had helped me to tell smoothly to my parents. That was only
The leap that you took into
yes,
entrepreneurship.
yes.
And what was their reaction?
Their reaction was mixed, because I could able to clear off the debts which they took for my education. I could able to buy a car cash down of 14 lakhs. Okay, I could able to give gifts my daughter to my wife that time. So seeing this, they felt like, okay, what he's doing is what giving the results to him. So positive towards this side, little disappointment towards the leaving the job.
Is entrepreneurship always very rewarding? Because people who begin their journey can face losses initially, and that can be very demotivating also.
Very true. Like I always say that, okay, it's a delayed gratification. It needs lot of patience. It needs lot of nightmares to overcome. Nightmares to overcome in the beginning of
Right.
first 3-4 years. Okay, because it's like building a foundation. See, people always compare with job and business. But for me, it's not like that. I always compare entrepreneurship with a traditional business, not with job and business.
So you're not comparing oranges with apples, you're comparing oranges with oranges only.
Correct. Because job, people feel like 30 days I work hard, I get salary. That is what. But what they put behind for 20 years of education, the money, the hard work of the parents, they never value it. They always value the hard work they do for the 30 days and getting the result.
So what was a time which you felt that you couldn't go back no matter what?
See, it's like burning the boats. If I don't know how the story works, but the statement itself says that burning the boats. Okay, I don't have any other option apart from picking up this entrepreneurship for longer time. When I quit my Infosys, because when in 2014, I can say the date also, 2014 May 6th. Okay, when I felt like I'm not going for a job from tomorrow, that's it. I never went. I never put my formal resignation. I never said to my boss that I'm putting my resignation, please, and I want my experience letter. No. So I don't want that experience letter as a back option in my life.
So was it an overnight decision that you took?
No, it was not an overnight decision. I say that it was a very calculative decision that I'm getting into the process, right, where this is the time where I wanted to, like you said, like leap. Okay, like you said, like leap of taking a decision and all.
Leap into entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship. That time during the month of May 2014, I felt okay. This is the time where I want to quit and do something else full time. Because you also mentioned about emotionally leaving. I was telling about my parents' emotional. It was a mixed emotions for my parents when I quit my job. But my emotional moment that time was I could not able to give time to the people who were spending lot of time in their entrepreneurship in my team. So it was my emotional decision because since I could not able to give time for them, I have to quit what I'm doing. Because the belief system for the people is very minimal. When I was working in Infosys earning 70,000-80,000 and they're working on the business full time, which doesn't match. So I want to quit so that I can support them.
Do you think the basic reason to take up entrepreneurship worldwide remains the same? Because I've interviewed many entrepreneurs, and one common thing that I see that in India, people take up entrepreneurship basically to fulfill their dreams of their families or the dreams that they have for their loved ones, which is not the case if you see in America or abroad. Do you think this is the most important factor in India that we see that people take up entrepreneurship as the case in yours?
According
as well?
to, I don't know about others, but according to the definition of entrepreneurship, I define is we grow along with people. Okay, for a business, it's like only the owner will grow. The others are the employees only always. But entrepreneurship is not like that.
But you are a businessman at the end of the day, right?
No, I'm a businessman, but the way the model that I choose is an entrepreneurship model. So that's how I see.
Right.
I don't know about America, I don't know about the other, but this is how I define. Because the person in my team can earn more money than me, okay, which is very much possible in the
So
business.
you're more of a leader. In
Yeah,
this
more
case.
of a leader. I wanted to create that 100 million years, okay, in my business, in my entrepreneurship career.
Today, if you look at your leadership style, which is that one principle that you are hooked to, which has been a success factor in your leadership?
See, two statements I would say like a lead by example always. Okay, the other one is monkey see, monkey do. People will never do what we say. People will always do what we do. Okay, that is these two statements I always believe in. A lead by example. What we do is what they follow to do. What we say they will never do.
So, are these the principle which you will never compromise on?
Definitely. These are the two things, two statements I will never compromise upon. Because if I compromise on these things, people will never follow. People will never follow. Because with this kind of technology change, the AI is taking the world. People know that what is right, what is wrong. If they don't know, at least the AI will tell them what is right, what is wrong. So, I always believe monkey see, monkey do.
And based on this principle, perhaps you developed leadership and you've created 20 plus millionaires.
Yes, already.
How do you feel today? What's going on in your mind?
See, in this 20 plus million years, I always happy about where they came from. Almost everyone are from farmer background. Okay, where I came from. Okay, see, it's always a happiest thing when I see them. I've seen them at the age of 21. I've seen them becoming a millionaire, driving a BMW at the age of 26. BMW 520D. Okay, which is everyone's dream car. But they coming from farmer background, owning that, driving that, making their family happy. Something it's always make me proud. It is always a proud moment for me.
So you want to see others achieving their dreams.
Correct. it's very, it's very what you call. It won't be nice. Someone is working so hard without achieving his dreams.
But how does one keep faith? Or rather, what principle do you use to keep faith when results don't show up? Suppose if you're doing it for someone else to build their dreams as well, but results don't show up immediately, what do you do?
See, two things. Technically, I'll see what's the process they're following. If the process is right, they will definitely achieve. If the process is wrong, they will go and correct it. Along with the process, our business requires human touch. That heart-to-heart connection of when you are talking to people. The belief system that you are imparting to the other person who want you to be partnered with. That is two important things I always see. One is the process correction, and second one is, are you doing something heartfully, or are you acting in front of them and going back in your room and you are like originality. So on stage, off stage, you have to be the same. That's how people will connect with you. That's how they will partner with you. That's how they will travel with you. That's how they will achieve their dreams.
So you should be an original version of your own self that you keep improving every single time.
Correct. And they will start copying you.
That's
Because
really nice.
People see on the stage when you are a speaker, when you are a host, and people see off the stage having a coffee with you. But if you are not same, if your statements are not same, if your body language is not the same, like I said, they will catch like that and they'll feel like, oh, we are acting. So I always feel like heart to heart is most important. That's how people will follow it.
Right. What is that one failure that you experienced that has ended up building your leadership muscle?
Failure, I told you, right? It's not a failure, it's a setback. In 2015, when the system was not there for me, I have to take a leadership role in 2015. That's the first, July 1st, 2015, that's the first time where I have to take my leadership to the next level. When there was a setback, because any entrepreneurship will have issues, because you are on your own. Okay, that time I took this leadership part and I told that we are going to build big. A setback has led me to take a position of a leadership role, and that leadership has created massive organizations.
So, typically if someone tells you that he or she wants to become a leader, what is that one thing that you find in them or see in them, look in them?
See, when we go back a little about, not with the leadership, little backward, I always see, are they hungry enough to achieve what they want achieve in their life? Because if they are not hungry or angry is about comparison with someone. She has that, he has that. Why can't I? I should have that. It's an angry
So
perspective.
it's the attitude that
Not attitude in terms of angry perspective. I don't have that. I have to prove that person wrong that I also had this. Okay, hungry is something you wanted to see happiness in your parents' face when you achieve something, when you give them something. That's hungry of seeing that happiness. If these two, either of these two, not two, either of these two, I always see in a person, then comes the leadership. See, a leader may not be a successful